Now, let me bring in Joe Siracusa, a professor of global futures at Curtin University, joining us live from Melbourne, Australia. Professor, federalizing the DC police force, how big of a deal is that?
Well, it's a big deal. The last time it was done was in 1968. I was a graduate student and doing some research in Washington at the time, and the city was burning in the wake of Martin Luther King's murder. President Johnson called in 13,000 troopers, about 2,000 National Guardsmen, 1,000 people were injured, 3,000 were arrested, and 13 were killed. I mean, the place was a burning riot. You know, thousands of businesses were lost. There's nothing like that going on. I was in Washington last summer. It's 710,000 people living within 70 square miles. I mean, it's the usual problems. Nothing particular going on, but you know, and I loved your package there, Per, because some of those posters said that Trump wanted to invade Washington so he didn't have to talk about Epstein and the rest of it. And a lot of this is distraction, and the president isn't just calling in the Guard. He's got the FBI coming in and walking patrols. He's got the Interior Office walking the parklands. You know, they can't really arrest anybody, but they can detain them. And of course, that's a very, very thin line when you got live bullets on both sides, the bad guys and the good guys. But it isn't like that at all. And the president, this is part of his imagination. Jimmy Carter's vice president used to say that Washington is 70 square miles surrounded by reality. And what he's saying right now isn't real. I mean, it's not reality at all. And a lot of those National Guardsmen, particularly if they live in the Washington, Maryland, Virginia area, are not going to like doing police duty in their old neighborhoods. You know, it's not a good idea. But, you know, sooner or later, the president's luck will run out. This thing will backfire. But for the time being, he's created an enormous distraction. And, you know, and the idea that he has a Secretary of Defense, Homeland Security, FBI, everybody on the stage while he talks about this. And then he says in the same breath, we're going to get rid of all these criminals plus the homeless people. Like they're the same bunch of people. That's not true at all. And it's really quite unfair.
I mean, Trump says, to be fair, he says the Capitol has been taken over by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals. That is, of course, his view. But, Joe, I want to look at the bigger picture here. I mean, he's deployed troops to the southern border. He sent U.S. Marines into L.A. Now he's federalizing the D.C. police. He's sending in the National Guard troops. Democrats have called this a soft launch of authoritarianism. Do you agree with that assessment, that this is sort of, he's changing the office of the presidency?
Well, you know, as we know from all the police shows we see, there's a pattern here. He's calling in the National Guard and the troopers wherever he could because he has the authority to do so under executive powers. Whether this is authoritarianism or not, I don't know. This is Donald Trump doing his thing. But yeah, there is a pattern here, and he's sending a signal to all the other sanctuary cities that he's coming after them. And this gives mayors a lot to worry about, particularly, you know, the mayors of New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago, which most of the time, these cities are hostile to Donald Trump's plans for undocumented people and the like. So yeah, there is a pattern going on here, but you know, sooner or later this thing's going to turn around on him and boomerang because something's going to happen. But right now there is probably no need for the Guard to be called in. There's no need to enjoin these particular laws because sometime you may need them down the road. What Trump's trying to do, of course, is flex his muscles and control the news media because he does not want you know, to look at what's really important, that is the disaster that's going on in Gaza, the Epstein thing, and the rest of the killings in Ukraine. I mean, there are real problems going on, but he's trying to create as much distance between himself and the reality as possible. So I think you got to take Donald Trump's invasion of his own city with a grain of salt.
All right, Joe Siracusa, always good to see you.
Thank you.